Hey everybody, it's Sean, the What's Up Dude. We are on US 41, headed to Kentucky. We're going to show you some cool stuff on this road along the way, and we'll have a little fun doing it. This is Sean, the What's Up Dude. US Route 41 is a major north-south highway with a history deeply intertwined with the development of transportation in the United States. It began as a series of Native American trails and early wagon roads, evolving into the Dixie Highway and eventually becoming the US 41 we know today, stretching from Miami, Florida to Copper Harbor, Michigan. And right on US 41, this is Santa Claus, the giant statue.
Here comes Santa Claus doing that Santa shuffle, belly full of jelly and a bag full of toys.
Alright, this is another stop on US 41, the Shrine of Christ's Passion.
Let it all out. Shout, let it all out. Twist, groove, making a move. Twist, groove, making a move. Feeling the heat and looking for fun. So turn it on up till the jukebox jumps.
One of Knox County's famous landmarks is the Giant Peach, located right off Highway 41. It is definitely a tourist must-see. It has many different faces throughout its years. For the history buffs, the Big Peach had been home to Knox County for many years. In 1954, the Yates family started their dream of producing fresh fruits and vegetables to the public. From peaches, strawberries, and famous Knox County melons, the Big Peach became a go-to stop for locals and tourists roaming along Highway 41. After the Yates, Carl Rogers and his family became owners. Bruce Donner and his family continued the Yates dream for over 30 years. They offered the most amazing pies to the menu and unique gift items for tourists to take home from the famous Big Peach. When the Donner family decided to retire, the home of the Big Peach was sold to the Hagmeyer family of Bruceville, Indiana. After the Hagmeyer family, the Cardinals of Oaktown, Indiana took ownership of the store. They added fudge candy, embroidery, and other unique items to the store in 2020. The Hurrell family of Oaktown decided to continue the 70 years dream of offering the best of Knox County's produce to its local and tourists and became owners that are presently running the store. Although there's been a handful of owners of the famous home of the Big Peach, each owner has done its best to keep up the store's landmark, the Big Peach out front of the store. It sure is a landmark that you can't miss. The huge landmark is a scaled down but still towering Washington monument next to a 20-foot peach. It was built by Wilbur and Doris Yates in 1954 as a tribute to the Tylon and Perisphere of 1939 New York World Fair. The only time the landmark has been moved is when the new Highway 41 was introduced. The original base for the famous landmark is still standing behind the store facing the old Highway 41. Be sure to stop by for your fabulous photo opportunity with this one-of-a-kind American landmark. Welcome to the Indiana Military Museum, dedicated to fostering the memory, understanding, and appreciation of U.S. military history. This is accomplished by maintaining, preserving, and displaying artifacts which represent the strength and freedom of our American heritage. Located in the historic Vinces, the Indiana Military Museum is home to one of the best, most comprehensive collections of military memorabilia in the country. In addition to the museum's own artifacts, including military vehicles, aircrafts, uniforms, insignia, and equipment from the American Revolution to present day, it also hosts traveling exhibits from the Smithsonian Institution and others. And it is nestled right on US 41. this area right here, you have the gift shop. So you have a bunch of things that you can purchase from different military things. Are headed to the iconic bridge that leads us away from Indiana and into Kentucky. Several times we have traveled this road to go to Kentucky to see our family. And here we go.
65 years for me.
We got a bunch of water over here, and we're almost to the other side. And goodbye, Indiana. Hello, bluegrass state of Kentucky. Please like, share, and subscribe so that I can explore new areas and go to more places in the future.